Now we start tonight with breaking news. Firefighters responding to a fire near a SAWS facility on Hardy Road. You see the map right there. KSAT heard reports of a small explosion in that area, and now county officials confirm that an oil tank in the area is on fire.
As you can see, this is on the southern part of the county. One person told us they saw several flashes of lightning in that area, but it's unclear at this point what exactly caused that fire. It is a story we've been watching for the past hour. We do have a crew headed to that area. We'll bring you updates as they develop during this show.
So the other big story that we're watching tonight, of course, is the weather. Yes, we saw rain move across San Antonio today.
Radar remains active tonight. Meteorologist Adam Caskey tracking it all for us.
And it really is a beautiful sight, isn't it? Just seeing it move in earlier today. The timing wasn't ideal, being the evening rush hour when the rain first hit, but it has since dissipated for the most part around San Antonio and then even north of Highway 90 and up into Comal and Kendall counties. You know, a few little drips and drops here and there, but mainly just low clouds left over. Good soaking rain south of San Antonio, down I-35. You get to Divine, Natalia, Bigfoot, Pearsall, Dilley, Cotulla. This is the kind of rain that we like to see in our current drought situation. You head farther to the west and it's starting to taper off a little bit, and I do think that's going to be the trend from north to south as we continue to go through the nighttime hours. We'll see that activity kind of fizzle out even more so locally and then pick up again as we get into tomorrow. But you look at the action now, just light rain in parts of Wilson, Karnes counties. The heavy action is closer to the Gulf coastline, and especially moving through Cuero recently, some very heavy rainfall. The white lines there, those indicate the direct ground or cloud to ground lightning strikes that we're seeing. So that's what's happening out there right now. I do have the rain chances falling off a little bit in the coming hours and then picking up again as we get into the morning. There's a look at it, down to 30% after midnight or around and after midnight, and then picking up again for the morning commute up into the scattered category. Flash flooding, of course, a concern because of some very heavy rainfall possible even for the morning commute. We'll take a look at some of the rainfall accumulations, and this isn't it. If you missed out today, more opportunities. See you in a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Despite that rain, firefighters had a tough time knocking down flames at a home on Virginia Street over on the city's east side. Crews say the tin roof kept firefighters from getting to those flames easily. One part of the home even collapsed. No one was injured. Neighbors told the homeowner there was constant lightning outside around the time the fire broke out. We asked firefighters if weather could have played a role in all this. They say they are still trying to determine what caused that fire.
Tonight, more than 3 hours of closed-door meetings in Uvalde. The school board, their lawyer, and Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell sitting and listening to grievances made against Harrell. As the night team's Lee Waldman reports, no action was announced about to be taken against Dr. Harrell. Now watch a report.
The board took no action against Harrell. Instead, they called for further inspection into safety protocols and procedures and called for a special committee. That announcement caused a very angry reaction for victim families who were present at tonight's meeting. 4 people were called back to meet behind closed doors with the board. I spoke with Adam Martinez. He was the first to go back and speak. He tells me he presented his grievance, which was about safety and security issues that, quote, made the massacre more convenient for the killer, unquote. Dr. Harrell had a chance to respond and board members could ask questions. The whole interaction was recorded. None of the victim families spoke, but many came to see what happened tonight. Martinez is disappointed by the board's decision not to take action against Harrell.
It's a clear example of what's been happening. They're not in touch with the citizens. You see the citizens stayed here for hours and they can't even give them the common courtesy. We don't even understand the language that they're speaking. I mean, it wasn't clear. Who actually knows what's going to happen right now?
The board quickly left after making their announcement. In Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
It's hard to imagine, but this Wednesday marks 3 months since that shooting at Robb Elementary. And also on Wednesday, the Uvalde School Board is going to discuss the employment of School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo. Parents want him and other law enforcement officers who were there the day of the shooting to be fired. It's a story that we continue to follow on air and online on KSAT.com. Right now, you can also read about the $27 billion class action lawsuit that was announced yesterday.
I do have a past, but it wasn't just me. I didn't do anything like that. I wouldn't hurt those people. I wouldn't hurt nobody.
Food trucks?
No, I didn't hit the food trucks.
He may claim he didn't do it, but San Antonio police say the evidence suggests otherwise. 24-year-old Giovanni Norman is accused in 5 robberies on the south side of San Antonio. They involved meat markets and taco trucks. Police say he used a similar process in each case, which involved a gun to distract his victims. They also say Norman has 7 warrants for other crimes.
Tonight, a former Bexar County Sheriff's deputy is in the very jail that he used to serve. 21-year-old Mario Sepulveda is accused of working with an inmate and another person to smuggle drugs into the jail. Deputies found meth and synthetic marijuana inside a cell. Investigators say that a cash app was used for payment.
An ex-constable in court. The trial against Michelle Barrientos Vela starts tomorrow morning. She's accused of hiding payment records for security at Rodriguez Park and creating a false record of those logs. The ex-precinct 2 constable and her husband arriving to court this morning, and a jury was selected. Barrientos Vela was indicted on a number of charges in early 2020. In this trial, opening arguments begin tomorrow morning at 10:30. You can watch the trial on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, or on the KSAT YouTube channel.
Now for a look at your headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. Remember that chase that shut down Ingram Park Mall Friday afternoon? Well, investigators say that this guy, a father, helped one of those suspects get away. And now that father, 48-year-old Mike Fuentes, is under arrest. So this all began as a shooting call on the west side. Deputies chased 2 14-year-old boys to Ingram Park Mall and caught one of them. The other got away, called his dad. Deputies say that Mike Fuentes gave his son clothes to change into and escape. Officers are still searching for Fuentes' son. A mother rescued is now dead. The Bexar County deputies say that her 3 adult children were getting paid to take care of their mother, but they didn't. Deputies arrested all 3 last week. Their mother, 58-year-old Patricia Martinez, was in hospice care when deputies found her in her own filth. She was taken to the hospital, but then eventually taken off the ventilator, and she died on Saturday. It's unclear at this point if their charges are going to be upgraded to murder. Since mid-July, the number of monkeypox cases is growing at a slower pace in Bexar County. Metro Health now confirming a total of 24 cases. That's 2 more since Friday. But by comparison, Austin is reporting almost 100 cases of monkeypox. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Now to a Nightbeat update. New design plans finally released for San Antonio's oldest public housing complex, and it's now up to the community to decide what happens next at the Alazan Apache Courts. This is a delicate balance between preserving history and new construction. There are 501 units in that complex, and updating them means making some of those apartments bigger. So crews will need to construct more buildings to make sure all 501 families can stay at the affordable housing complex. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas shows us how the pieces in this puzzle could eventually fit together.
The Alazan Apache Courts is the longest standing public housing in San Antonio. Design firm Maple City is in charge of the redevelopment, preserving history, and trying to meet community demands.
We want to ensure that as many of the existing units will just be renovated versus demolished.
Months of conversations with the families who live here have led to 4 potential plans.
They are meant to start a conversation about what, as we get into more detail, what priorities mean, how the priorities need to be balanced out.
Design 1 focuses on maintaining the historic street view of the courts. New construction would be limited to inside the complex, away from the street. That's what those orange buildings represent, and they would be 3 stories tall. Design 2 would leave the core of the neighborhood alone. The new construction would only be on the outskirts, mostly by Alazan Creek. Design 3 is a mix of the 2. Buildings would be limited to 2 stories tall, but the trade-off is potentially losing some of the historic preservation of the courts.
We said, hey, what if we worked on the buildings in the courts and along the edges, but they would, we'd have to touch more buildings in order to get there. But we, presenting that idea 2 stories.
The 4th option focuses on green space, adding more 3-story buildings and shifting buildings around to open up room for playgrounds in every courtyard. Regardless of the final decision, both Able City reps explain the current 501 public housing units will stay the same or could potentially increase based on final design.
The final scheme won't look like any one of the 4. It'll be kind of, the best of every one.
And to make sure they're getting the best of every design, they're asking residents to fill out a survey and give their input. The survey will run through September 9th, and then they hope to have the master plan by October. We have a link for you to check out that survey on our website, KSAT.com. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Don't worry, it's going to be an exciting class and that you'll have fun.
Yeah, some words of encouragement for the first day of school. But if your little one still feels those jitters, it could be anxiety. Coming up, what a local pediatric psychologist says parents need to look out for.
And we actually had a weak little cold front drop in earlier today. Now it has stalled out and it's going to linger. And it's going to keep giving us some rain chances. We'll talk about how long these better rain chances are going to stick around in just a bit.
All right, the countdown is underway for our KSAT Pigskin Classic. It features 3 high school football games and the halftime shows to go along with them. It's all happening this Saturday, August 27th, over at the Alamo Dome. The first game is at 11:30 between Smithson Valley and Reagan. We have everything you need to know about parking, the clear bag policy, and tickets. Just scan that QR code you see on your screen with your phone. You can get a ticket for all 3 games for just $15 at any Las Palapas location. You can also buy tickets for $8 from the athletic department of your student's participating school. If you wait until you get to the box office, though, you should know that it'll cost you $20 there.
And by the way, we're going to be at those watch parties, too, so we're excited to see you. All right, let's talk about this now. San Antonio's biggest school district welcomed its students to class today. That's Northside ISD. As you know, it has more than 100,000 students. This video that you're looking at, oh, he's adorable, was at Fernandez Elementary. And you can imagine that some of those students felt the first day jitters, but staff were there to help the students feel more comfortable. And tomorrow, students from Kamal ISD are going to begin their school year. Good luck to them. So a lot of students are in the early stages of getting back into the routine at school. We all remember what that was like. You know, some children may feel nervous, maybe clingy, and experts say that might be signs of anxiety. The Night Team's Patty Santos tells us how to help them cope.
My youngest, he has like anxieties with like a lot of kids, and then sometimes the teacher just tells me that he didn't behave today or something like that. So I just talk to him.
Delia Martinez is grateful for the school staff that are helping her manage Jesus's behavior.
What's your favorite thing to do at school?
Play.
Psychiatric psychologist says between normal fears, COVID-19, and school violence, students and families are facing justified stressors and feelings.
Anxious cognitions tend to be about the future and they're predicting negative outcomes, and they also tend to be a lot of what-if questions.
Children's Hospital San Antonio psychologist Angelique Snyder says pay close attention to feelings of being on edge, tense, clingy, or needing reassurance.
Kids often complain about headaches or stomach aches, things like that, or a change in a behavior. When we're worried about something, we avoid it at all costs.
Snyder says anxiety can start as early as 6 years old, but don't ignore signs in teenagers either. Some parents say awareness about school safety and even trauma from COVID-19 is showing on their older kids.
Since the COVID and stuff, I guess that's why she gets those anxieties and stuff, like what happened in the past with her dad and stuff. She's losing her dad and stuff, so I think that's what gives her anxiety now.
For older kids, Snyder suggests limiting their exposure to violence. And at any age, seeking professional help will teach the entire family how to deal with anxiety.
But we also talk about practical strategies that parents can do with the goal of empowering families.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Right, now we're going to take a live look outside.
This is at I-10, 410. A lot of nice rain in the area tonight. I checked in with Mrs. Gerber. She said we did not win the rain lottery this time, but there's more chances.
Maybe tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, that's the nice thing. We have a few more days of developing showers and heavy downpours. You look at the action right now, just very light, lingering leftover sprinkles across parts of San Antonio, especially when you get on the far southern portion of Bexar County, far east side of town as well. And then the very light to moderate soaking rain down I-35, Divine, Pearsall, Dilley, Bigfoot, Natalia, those neighborhoods. The heaviest rain, that's farther to the southeast. We talked about this a bit ago. That's mostly closer to the Gulf coastline. And I do anticipate this to really taper off a bit in the coming hours, and then we'll see more development again into the morning, just in time for the morning commute. Then flash flooding, ponding of water, of course, on the roadways, definitely a concern and could cause some issues in the morning. But let's take a look at the rainfall accumulations. As often is the case here, it's the haves and the have-nots. And here was the sweet spot today, south of I-10, basically between I-10 and I-37. Wilson County, Stockdale, Lavernia, you get to Sutherland Springs, Floresville, even down into Falls City. I mean, look at this red area. So the yellow indicates over 2 inches of rain. You get into Falls City where we still have some rain falling, and this red color here near Falls City and Hobson, check this out. This is a Doppler radar estimate of 4.9 inches. This just goes to show the difference across our area when it comes to these heavy downpours, and where the heaviest rain sets up and where the showers follow each other, what we call training, then you get the most amount of rain. Locally around San Antonio, west side of town, not really your day today in terms of the high accumulations. You get around SeaWorld on the far west side and a little closer to Alamo Ranch, and you're talking, about a half an inch, a quarter to half an inch. Not terrible. We'll take it, of course, but it's nothing like what other parts of town saw. When you get out into the southeast side, you get near Elmendorf, Calaveras Lake, and even the Adkins area. Look at this. We're talking radar estimates near Calaveras Lake of 2.5 inches. So some very good soaking rain showers out there today. The light green indicates about a half an inch, and the dark green indicates an inch. Once you get the yellows on the screen, that's where it's even more. There's a picture from Atkins from our KSAT Connect user. Confirmation, over an inch. That's nice to see. What about the aquifer, though? We really like the rain in this middle purple zone right here, and we outlined the entire recharge zone and contributing zone. And you look at the rainfall from today, not bad. The heaviest was not on the aquifer, but we still did have some good soaking rain, and the aquifer should respond nicely. With more opportunities, we're going to see more of this just coming and going intermittently and periodically through Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday. And when we say 50%, we don't mean a coin flip. It basically means about 50% of our area likely to see rain at some point during those days. Here's a look at the shower that hit our I-10 cam there today. A beautiful sight. At the airport, officially 0.24 of an inch, so not a whole lot at the airport. 96, that was our high. Right now we're in the 70s. We're just going to hold tight in the low to mid 70s for the rest of the night tonight. 76 right now, for example, in San Antonio, and we'll pretty much just stay there. Tomorrow morning, some scattered activity, downpours here and there, off and on, periodically during parts of the day tomorrow, and it really could be morning and even afternoon and evening with those opportunities pretty elevated through Thursday. Rain chances fall off to just a few pop-ups by the weekend, and we'll see more sun, and as a result, it's back into the 90s. But it's nice to see several opportunities here. This is good.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And you know what? The UTSA coach has a lot to be proud of with his wide receivers.
Yeah, because they do more than just catch the ball. When we come back, we'll tell you what we're talking about with head coach Jeff Traylor here as they prepare for their season to start 1 week from this Saturday. And our big game coverage previews take us out to Harlandale High School. Coming up.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
They are calling it Turpentine, what the new Dallas Cowboys kick returner Cavante Turpin has been able to do against the Chargers in Los Angeles over the weekend in their 32-18 victory. Show off that lightning quick speed. Former TCU Horned Frog was able to return 2 kicks for touchdowns. The first was this kickoff when he was able to bring this back 98 yards to the house, and the second was a punt return. He was able to bring back 86 yards. 2 kick returns in one game for touchdowns is rare, but Turpin came through, and after the game was asked which one was easier for him.
I say the kickoff return, I say it was easy because all I had to do was just weave. But the second one, the punt return, I say I did a couple moves, try to show everybody like what I can. I know I can stick and move, just trying to show everybody what I can do.
All right, the Cowboys will wrap up their preseason this Friday when they host Seattle at 7 p.m. at AT&T Stadium. With the recent sale of the Denver Broncos for a whopping $4.65 billion, Forbes magazine has adjusted its values on other NFL teams, including the Dallas Cowboys. According to Forbes, the Cowboys have become the first NFL NFL franchise to be worth $8 billion and is considered the most valuable sports franchise in the world. Part of that adjustment that was figured in was the fact that Cowboys did $1 billion in revenue. The first team to ever accomplish that. No question the Cowboys brand is known worldwide. The UTSA Roadrunners are now out of fall camp and into regular season preparation to get ready for their opener 1 week from this Saturday inside the Alamo Dome against number 24 Houston. In fact, the Roadrunners' first 3 games are doozies when you consider they follow up their home opener with back-to-back road trips to Army and UT up in Austin. One position that head coach Jeff Traylor is very proud of is his wide receiver core that does more than just catch the ball.
Each one of them have their things they're really good at, and they don't have many weaknesses. What I love the most about all of them, they are all willing participants on blocking. They take great pride in blocking. Like, we dominate on the perimeter. And there are very few receivers in the country that have that kind of athletic ability with those kind of stats that love manhandling DBs out there. Man, they get after it blocking, which Coach Price deserves a lot of credit, as Coach Stein did last year for coaching those guys and developing them.
All right, kickoff in the Dome September the 3rd, 2:30 p.m. For the first time since Quinn Ewers is named the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, we're getting reaction today. Head coach Steve Sarkisian felt the Ohio State transfer and former South Lake Carroll star beat out the more experienced Hudson Card. That's after Casey Thompson transferred and is now the starting quarterback for Nebraska.
I think Quinn provides the ability to make all the throws in our system. I think he's got playmaking ability. He's got natural passing ability. I will say it was a tough decision. Hudson is a very good player. He's got great leadership skills. He's got the utmost respect of our coaching staff and of his teammates. There's a reason he's on our leadership committee because of all those things. And I've said all along, there's probably going to come a point in this season, and whether it's one play, one drive, one game, 2 games, I don't know, we're going to need Hudson Card to win a championship.
The Longhorns are hosting Louisiana Monroe on Saturday, September the 3rd at 7 p.m. before hosting number 1 ranked Alabama the following week. Our big game coverage previews take us to Harlandale High School next. The high school football season kicks off this Thursday night with 3 games, followed by the first full Friday night and the big event Saturday in the Alamo Dome with the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers. Our big game coverage previews take us to the campus of Harlandale High School, which is home to the Indians. The Indians and the McCollum Cowboys have been placed in the same district, 14-5A Division II, with Alamo Heights and the San Antonio School District teams. That's right, a 10-team district. Head coach Albert Torres welcomes back 8 starters, 6 on offense, 2 on defense, including running back Zion Molina, quarterback Jacob Saucedo, and wide receiver Saxon Langenberg, and on defense, linebacker Nicholas Rodriguez.
We got a very young team this year. We got some seniors, but last year's team was a very senior-led team, so this year we're stepping up a little bit, showing these young guys what it's about so they can take over.
This year, a lot of the teammates worked hard. We all worked hard together. We all pushed through. We all went through the same struggles, and so it made us a stronger team. And no matter what team we face, we're always going to come with our A game.
All right, the Harlandale Indians kick off their 2022 season against Veterans Memorial at Harlandale Memorial Stadium Friday night at 7. And then this Saturday is the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers. 3 games inside the Alamo Dome, featuring 6 teams, all ranked, including number 1 against number 2, according to 12's Top 12. We open with Smithson Valley against Reagan. Follow that up with Judson against Johnson. Finally, Steele against Brennan at 7:30. If you can't make it to the Dome, it's all live on KSAT 12, starting with our pregame show at 11 a.m. 12 hours of nonstop live sports.
Friday night is the appetizer, Saturday the main course.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And we're all excited. Thank you. We'll be right back after this. All right, now we're going to go back to some breaking news that we brought to you at the top of the newscast. We told you about firefighters responding to an oil tank that was on fire in the southern part of Bexar County.
Here's what we've learned in the past half hour. This is near a Saws facility on Hardy Road, but it is not an actual Saws facility. Saws tells us no customers have been impacted, but there are powder outages in the area. Lightning also suspected of causing that fire.
All right, and that's just something that we wanted you to know. Service is not affected or anything like that, but it is something, we're going to continue to update you on that on our website and also on the morning show.
Probably have better pictures tomorrow and be able to tell how much damage was caused by that lightning strike on that oil tank facility. That does it for the Night Beat. Don't forget, Good Morning San Antonio starts tomorrow bright and early at 4:30.
We loved having your company tonight. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay dry.